Hello! Hello, welcome to my YouTube. My name is Chris Farah, and hi, how are you? It is March 7th. Usually I do the Tuesdays at 2, but I did post in Vanity Fair, my Facebook group, that I was going to move it to today so that I could celebrate. Listen, it's obviously a monumental holiday on this YouTube. I don't want to be like a quintessential only child, but if you are on this YouTube, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. So today's my birthday. So whatever. It's just like that's what's happening. I got eyelash extensions. Don't worry about it. I have no makeup on. But I mean, I don't have to wear makeup because again, like it's my birthday. I'm 26. So us 26-year-olds don't have to like wear makeup all the time because we're only 26 and we have great skin. Yep, just on the, edge of Gen Z slash, Gen Alpha or whatever. That's what I am, Anyway, so obviously I'll stop doing this dumb joke. I'm old, but I'm happy to be here with you to talk about the TV I want to talk about. The TV I want to talk about. Yeah. Can you believe it? I was born again 26 years ago. Oh, God. It was at a simpler time. All right. So, this hair. Even though it's my birthday, for some reason, I didn't consider when I was making this scheduled live that the Traitors on Peacock wouldn't actually be out by now because I thought that they would drop the Traitors on Thursdays like in the morning and I would be able to watch it before 2 o'clock. But in fact, because all the streamings drop their things different times on Thursdays, I guess they don't drop it until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so yeah, so I'm gonna have to take off Traitors off the list. I mean, we can talk about the fact that if you are up to date, basically Phaedra's out, spoiler alert, and they have one or two more little events before they finally like either win or lose, and the only surviving traitor now in there is Kate from below deck, and she basically was, made a traitor by Phaedra like not nary what feels like 2 days ago, but like 2 sessions ago. And so she hasn't been there the entire time because obviously if you're watching, you know that Dan and Poverty were the traitors and they were all out. And then Phaedra, she did the best she could, but obviously it came down and then she is out. And then so now Kate is in. They know maybe they have one person left and they're like looking at Sandra, who I thought Sandra would be like 100% had more wherewithal and had like a higher IQ in this game than I have witnessed with Sandra, because I kind of kept thinking she was going to play underneath the radar because everyone kept saying what a fierce competitor she was. Really? Okay. I don't know. So happy birthday. You don't look a day over 25. God bless you. God bless you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hi guys. So, thank you so much for like spending any time with me and being here. So basically, we'll see what happens tonight. I don't know what happens left, of whether they get out the people they need to get out. But it's kind of a weird moment now because we're kind of like we don't really care about the people left as much. Like Phaedra being out. Well, then who? Let me. Good. Oh no. I hope Sheree wins. You know. Um. Okay. So we can talk about other things. Love is Blind. Now, Love is Blind dropped yesterday, Wednesday, their wedding episode for the people that had remained after being potted up. That was an interesting wording of, oh, yay, hi. Yay. Yeah, I'm your child. Well, I'm your child. Thank you so much. These little Pisces fishies are nice. So we're cute. Love is Blind, last night, the weddings. Now, this is going to be spoilers, blah, blah, blue, because we're here to talk. So you would have had to watch the weddings episode from yesterday or yeah, yesterday. And then also, if you're on Docu Sweeties, we posted about a bunch of things. I have a bunch of great memes from that episode. So basically, it starts with Chelsea and Jimmy having a conversation where she, after fighting with him, once drunk, once upset, in so many ways, and kind of also not truly believing in her heart that he finds her attractive. And I say that because she asked him 1 billion times if he likes her. And every time he said, yeah, you would see her face scrunch up like I think I don't quite understand. This is like what's interesting to me. Could you like Okay, Chelsea, it feels like the entire time after the pod is like constantly, telling Jimmy, "Do you like me? Do you ask me? Are you attracted to me? Are you sure? Are you into it?" And he's felt like he was constantly being like, "Yes, yes, this. I'm trying to do this." They get in fights, right? The fight about her wanting, her being mad that he didn't kiss her, and then him being like, "I actually kissed you, like in the bathroom," and then like later today, and she's like, "Did you? No, but then you didn't kiss me. Then you didn't kiss me," and she told all her friends. Now, is she in this moment? I don't know why I'm having like an allergy attack. Sorry. In this moment and in the other moments, is she intuitively picking up on a distance or something that doesn't feel right? And then so she just keeps anxiously trying to figure it out. And she's obnoxiously being like, "And then he didn't kiss me. And then, yeah, like he was ignoring me at this thing. I felt like everyone else was like this, but then he was this." What also happens, I guess, is that she makes comments how Amy and Johnny are the best couple. Now, I don't understand this whole best couple thing because does she mean in this season of Love is Blind, and is that like a thing that she cares about? Like is she like, and is she like judging herself based on them, or is she seeing people that she feels like have a genuine connection, and in the juxtaposition she feels less than? She, to me, she always, in her heart of hearts, deeply, deeply felt insecure that Jimmy was attracted to her or liked her after the pods. So either that was because she generally felt that, or that she was so insecure that even if he did feel that, she was going to like, you know, wish and believe the opposite into existence. Jimmy does the same kind of thing he does to her that he did to Jessica, which is that he, through the producer's help, elongates a situation. And then at the very moment is like, you know what? I'm going to make a decision that feels like he's made prior, but has elongated the situation to this moment now that feels like for both women, Jessica and Chelsea, that he's led them on in some way, or that he wasn't truthful, or he wasn't strong enough to do or say the thing that he felt or knew before until now. And in doing so now, it doesn't feel right? Happy Sky. Can you please explain to me how someone is allowed to reject at the altar? I don't get it. How could you do that? You had to be a psychopath. Well, Happy, for sure. Now, is that exactly what the producers want to have happen? Yes. The producers, there's gotta be, and I would love to know. Like, we've also hinted there's a lot of drama that happens behind the scenes with the producers, and maybe even nefarious techniques that the producers of Love is Blind has perpetuated for years, and they have lawsuits against them. Now, they're not the first thing to have lawsuits. Like, side note is Andy Cohen and what's happening between the Bravo and the Andy Cohen and the Real Housewives, and everyone just saying that like he just like sends them inappropriate texts all the time and like a bunch of coke stuff and everything. So interesting. Anyway, God bless. But with this situation, Love is Blind, people have obviously said in the past that the Love is Blind producers just like give them like copious amounts of alcohol, like alcohol all goddamn day, and then like doesn't feed them, and then just like makes them record. I'm sorry, not record, film, and and because it's all about getting like the best story, whatever. they hint at like people not making decisions until I don't know, they want to elongate storylines. Like I feel like with the Chelsea and Jimmy, at this point, they started with the following couples, right? From the pods. Kenneth, Brittany, right? Thanks God. R.I.P. As they are no longer a couple. Jeremy and Laura, Jeremy and Laura, who obviously no longer a couple, couldn't even make it to the altar, couldn't even make it to the wedding day. Now, Chelsea and Jimmy. Now, Jimmy, for a long time, has looked out of his goddamn mind, to me, in pain, seething through this situation. If I was to be honest with you, I think very early on, Jimmy realized, like in the DR, that Chelsea was not for him. Now, I don't know how he decided to like stay on this long. I couldn't believe they moved in together or whatever, God bless. But obviously what ends up happening is the things I told you about with Chelsea and the clinginess, and then him saying that that she had tried to initiate sex and that he said yes, but he really didn't want to, which is a horrible thing to say to a woman and definitely plays against her not feeling like he's sexually attracted to him. But she persists. Nevertheless, she persists. And yet what seems to be the rub that truthfully to me I also 100% get is that for some reason he thinks it's a really good idea to have his two girlfriends go out with Chelsea. Now his two girlfriends was a brown-haired girl and a blonde-haired girl. You and I don't even have to really even think twice about between the brown-haired girl and the blonde-haired girl, what girl Jimmy fucked. Because we all know it's the brown-haired girl. That brown-haired girl, the minute that she met Chelsea, she was like, nice to meet you. Yeah, I know. He's great. No, he's big sensitive person. No, I know. He's just like has a lot of girlfriends. And she sat right next to him. We all know it was okay. So anyway, so God bless. So when Chelsea's like, yeah, I don't mind that he has girlfriends like you guys. Like sounds fine. I got new sisters. I get new sisters, which is like LOL. Then in this fight that happens, after like a day of them having a reconciliation, he basically is like, I cannot, no, let me be straight. I cannot fathom going to the altar with you. She takes it horribly. And when she insists on, of course, finding out why, and he really gleams onto the situation where she took something private, said it on camera, and that's like a barrier of trust. And she's like, "What? Your reputation? Who cares about your reputation?" She's like, "That's not my reputation. It's hers." You know what I'm saying? God bless. And then she like lost her goddamn shit. He really got an opportunity to be like, "This is my stake in the ground. This is why you're not good. You're no good. You're no good. You're no good." He puts his whole fucking foot down and is like, and as you like continually yell about this, further cements like the good choice I made. Her face gave her away multiple times. We know who Jimmy's. I know. I love the idea of just like, just, okay, I can't. Yeah, it's just like the brown-haired girl, the blonde-haired girl. The blonde-haired girl, when they had that dinner, was so smiley and so kind of joyful and like, yeah, yeah, totally. Jimmy's like that. Yeah, that brown-haired girl was just like, mm-hmm. Yeah, Jimmy's. Mm-hmm. It was so delicioso. Anyway, so that was great. I love the show and watched a couple seasons, but gave up Netflix. I think that I saw, but I would listen to Chris making fun of people's names in the book. Okay, you would actually, it's a weird seasons because like, okay, so basically Chelsea and Jimmy break up. So now we're gonna go to the weddings with two weddings. That's it. Now I think I'm okay. I'm with you, Lisa. We're in season 6. I watched season 4 hard, right? That's the arena season, and that's like Micah, right? Remember we were like obsessed with that. I actually didn't watch the last season. Now I want to go back and maybe watch it. Like I don't know why I didn't watch it. I don't know. I was busy. It's so crazy to me that now we like are yeah, but we only have 2 couples. I forget that we had 2 couples only for the wedding because as it starts, it spends so much time with AD and Clay, the first wedding, that I realized halfway through that there's only 2 weddings, that's why they can spend so much time. I was like, "Jesus Christ, how are all the weddings in one episode?" I'm like, "Oh, it's an hour and a half episodes, 2 weddings." And this one conversation with Chelsea and Jimmy. Chelsea and Jimmy obviously break up, which is what they should have done. She says a whole bunch of bananas things like, "I can't believe you would break up over one fight," when we, like, watched a bunch of other fights. And then at one point, to her credit, she's like, "Well, how was it like when you said that you didn't want to have sex with me?" And he's like, "I never said that," or something. And of course, he had said something like that. Anyway, let's move on to the weddings. Okay, AD and Clay. So AD pulls up, white Bentley, red interior. Not my fave color combo. She gets out wearing like little white, like just like shorts and a tank top, no makes, and she her family comes now. Her sisters come and her cute niece, and then her mom comes. And at first, her mom's like, "Oh, I met Clay's mom outside. What a real girl, like real woman. She seems so authentic and real, and like blah 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 blah." And then Clay, we see him and his like friends, and Clay starts in his groomsman duty, starts to talk a lot. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of diatribes. It's a lot of TED Talks on the man that he's become and how and why because of AD. It seems very forced. But God bless. So, then the wedding starts. AD comes out. She does look gorgeous in that dress with that leg out, honey, whatever. And he has this moment with his dad. We're like, oh my God, that dad. We obviously know the backstory that Clay's dad and his mom were married for a long time, but Clay's dad was like a trifling asshole and literally brought Clay around as he, cheated on his mom. So horrible. So all of this is happening, and it'll end up being the most important, best part of the whole situation. So basically, the wedding happens, and whatever, like it starts. And one of the more notable parts of the wedding is that AD doesn't have like a dad to walk her down. So she's walking by herself down her aisle and she looks beautiful. She's like a beautiful woman and she looks absolutely fabulous, and really elegant and gorgeous, but also very sexy. She works out for that body and she looks great. Remember, she's like a full on fucking dancer. So, God bless. This man sees his bride to be and is like, okay, body. I mean, this is why it's upsetting to me because he met her mom, who's right there. All her women are there. All her her niece is there, right there. I get like if there's this is why it's also interesting because I get if you really have such a casual relationship with your best friend slash lover that you of course joke around in such a way. Like it isn't that you don't want your like person and you to like hype you up and stuff like that. But to say that in that moment that's supposed to be really special in a very formal setting, like you cannot be that casual when for all intents and purposes you are wearing outfits that are very formal for a reason. You're at one of the more formal events of your whole fucking life. I mean, that's your own wedding. I mean, when are you going to ever have a more expensive dress than your wedding for the reason of the fact that it's the most formal affair that you as a bride or groom will ever be at? God bless, whatever. So that happens, and all of our fucking mouths hit the floor. And even if we were trying to talk ourselves, like AD was, into thinking that Clay had the possibility of being a good person, which he was too much like, I got a lot of work to do and you're going to make me better, blah, blah, blue, blah, blah, blue. And the only thing that she could say was, Clay, Clay's a great protector provider. Clay's a great protector provider. And I thought to myself, how do I say this? For okay, I understand, and I mean this, and I appreciate, I get it, that protector provider are traits you'd want, especially if you are in like a heteronormative, old-fashioned style relationship. Obviously, even me, Chris Farah, I want a protector provider. I do. It's just that if I were to get married, it's like that's the basic thing that they do. And if you were to be like, and this is what I would think, if you were to be like, Chris, like, why did you fall in love with X person? It's like, yeah, he makes me feel safe and I feel like I can, trust in him and I feel like we'll be able to take on the world together because I feel confident that he's a capable human in that way and I feel, in what things. That's one thing. But then the way he makes me feel in other ways, the way that like I think that you need to have the things that are special that make you fall in love with someone. But her answering provider protector just as the basic answer made it seem so unspecified and so like basic that I was like, "Oh, you don't have love with this person. This person's just fitting a bill for you. This person just checked." Because there were times in which Clay talked about not wanting to over sexualize AD. And it's so funny because we all thought that was maybe a theme for everyone, but like this entire season was about what felt like a version of it was the sexualization of AD. Like, and even now, I guess Nia talked about her body, but like everything, yeah, like from people talking about her butt or from what she was supposed to look like in Clay's mind, or like people touching her that she didn't want, like the beanbag incident, and like, okay, body, it's this. It's like AD really gave us a lot of other characteristics and qualities. She's very funny. She's very a girl's girl. She obviously like is sexual and like wants to have fun and like sexy for sure, but she was like very lively and engaging and I think had a lot of like motivating disciplinary like qualities to her that like were I don't know, this somehow everything I kind of feel bad for her, like in the sense of I'd feel bad for any bride also that like upon your wedding day when you're walking up to the altar like anyone's just like, okay, body, like I don't want that. I wouldn't want, look at those legs, look at those tits. Like, what I'm saying? Like, whatever it was, I would not want anyone to comment on my body loudly, especially my husband, as I walked up to the altar. This, of course, you can tell when I make something for the, you can tell when I do something for the Docu Sweeties, I think, Instagram, if it's something that's very blatantly specific to me, which is that I put up this poll. Why can't I do that with me? What should a groom say? Oh. What should a groom say to his bride? I do. Okay, body. Tearing up because he is overwhelmed by her beauty. Speechless. Shaking his head, realizing his luck. Obviously, I wrote that, and the answer is tearing up because he's so overwhelmed by her beauty. Yeah, to me, it's like you can't be saying okay, body to me because what you should be doing as I walk up to marry you is be like crying, crying, crying. Yes, because of my overwhelming beauty, my actual feminine beauty, not my sexuality, but like my beauty, the overwhelming feeling you have from it, that also in turn, yes, makes you feel incredibly lucky. Not just my beauty. It's just the beauty hits you and then everything else sinks in. How smart I am, how funny I am, how gracious I am, how your kids will be well cared for because I cook well and I look like this. Like this is for me saying to you, but I want any man to think of this for any woman, and this is whatever I said. I want her to think, oh my God, she's so beautiful. But then as that sinks in, all the other qualities that she has, sinks into him and he's just like, holy fuck, I am so overwhelmingly lucky. How did I ever get so lucky? She's so much better than me. I'll never be able to, like, I'll never be able to, like, be half the person she is. I'll have to just spend the rest of my life making up for it. And I will. I will always try to be a better person for this person because I am so incredibly lucky this person decided to marry me. That is the feeling I need him to have for me, for you, for everyone, so that he spends his life making up for it. Because I think what happens is men who get married and think they are the lucky ones don't are too fucking comfortable and they cheat and they do other crazy ass shit because they're like, I can. I need you to be uncomfortable. I'm better than you at any time. I can leave you. Anyone will have me. You're very lucky. Mind your P's and Q's. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But Clay doesn't have that, right? And we can talk about his own dad. Holy shit. So this happens. Clay's an asshole. Clay's like, you know what? I'll be honest, I can't marry you. But I know you're going to roll with me. I know you're going to stay and help me be a better man. I know you're going to work with me. I know I'm not going to give you what I want because who cares about timelines? But I think that you're going to stay and make me a better man. Now, when he says this to her, he almost says it in a way that makes me feel like they had a conversation that this was an option because he says it so freely that I'm like, why does he think she's going to stay? Why does he think she's going to stay? I cannot imagine. I mean, all of it, the audacity of all of it. So, like, the audacity of then being like, no, I'm not going to marry you, but I know you're going to be a down girl and stay with me and work it out. We'll work it out till it's a better timeline for me. I know you got me. I know you're holding me down. I'd be like, well, you thought wrong. It's sad because we want people to own their power, and AD has so much power. So she turns to her people. She's like, let's get the fuck out. Then he, like, tries to have a conversation with her. I think it's so dumb. The most important part of this is then this. Clay's mom obviously knows who Clay is, and very much, I think, in her mind was like, Clay's not ready. I like AD, but this man's not ready. And we know who to blame. And Clay's dad is crazy and is like, my man, you did the greatest thing ever. You scared of responsibility. You don't have to be, married. More, like that's like the energy the dad's giving. And when he's not giving that energy, he's like, did you also tell the cameras how I used to be like a great runner? I don't know. God bless. Let's be real. AD knew Clay is not the committing type. She just liked how good they looked together. She will definitely find someone better though. By the way, the streets are saying they're together. And obviously this was the weddings and then the reunions drop next week. Those eyelashes came off quick, honey. Yeah, no, she cried those eyelashes, huh? Yeah, yeah. This part's interesting. I hate to be an eyelash snob, and I feel like I am. I feel like I'm a lot of snobs. First of all, just know this: I have eyelash extensions. I've only got them once before in my whole life, and I got them off immediately afterward because I had like a little bit of a red eye situation. So now I'm wearing eyelash extensions. So the first, it's like basically my first time, and I got them. Why? It's my birthday. We know that. So I wanted something a little bit for myself. So in this now, you can see these are full eyelash extensions. I have no makeup on. Obviously, I have like red patchy skin, but they are great. And I also got my eyebrows laminated, so they're like sticking straight up. So, I think I had them last time, so I don't remember. But okay, but not maybe I don't know. Okay, so basically, obviously, then Clay's mom has a conversation with Clay's dad where she's like, "Look, he wants to get married. He wants to be in a long-term relationship. He came on the show, right? And then he realized he literally can't. He's a broken person because he cannot understand how the hell you're supposed to get married when the only marriage he saw and the only male figure he has is you, and you were such a fucking shitty example." And you see this dad just like have to take it in on camera. And it was just like so real. And everything she said was so composed with so much history and emotion. She would just be like, we got past that, I know, but just so you know, a lot of things came out during this taping I was not aware of. And so it's been very hard for him to process it and me. And we're not going to go there, but just so you know, there's a lot of work you could do. Just she was able to really talk to this person, her ex-husband, that had harmed her in such a profound way on camera without without crying, I just, I sometimes when I'm emotional and sometimes when I'm angry, I cry and it makes me really upset because if I'm angry and I'm starting to cry, I start crying. It's like upsetting to me. I'm obviously just like, this is going against, like what I want or whatever. So it just felt so powerful to see this woman, to hear this woman say and exact her truth and her son's truth on TV. And it was like this in a healing way. It's hard to communicate, period. She was able to communicate exactly what she wanted to someone who had harmed her, chiefly her ex-husband, and he heard her also. I just like it was so effective. I just it's hard to effectively communicate trauma and pain on your behalf and on someone else's behalf. And then also, especially to someone who you cannot let get too defensive or they won't even hear what you're saying. So I think that's like what felt like so remarkable to it, because I think that I really hate confrontation. So anyway, all of that. So let's move on to the next wedding, which is Amy and Johnny. Let's be real. It's kind of boring, isn't it? Them kind of I'm happy for them. I think it's funny that they're kind of like the thing that kind of keeps getting repeated throughout their thing is how much Amy would not have chosen Johnny based on looks alone. It's like, he's so white, he's so blonde, white, blonde people. And everyone's like, yeah, but Amy, we just kept dreaming about you marrying white blonde people. And she's like, yeah, no, I guess, yeah, that's what everyone kept dreaming about. So here he is. But she marries him. Now, this is the interesting part. They also had this thing about the birth control, right? Like that he's so afraid of sex because of having babies that he doesn't want to have sex with her yet. And so that's why they haven't had sex. She like tells AD. And AD's like, "What? Amy, you? Spicy ass you? What are you talking about?" And we also know that nothing about Amy is that she comes from, like Latin roots, and we see her parents and her dad is like, crying every other goddamn second. And I'm like, no, I think they definitely I think that this is a nice storyline for the benefit of like her dad. Vanessa, happy birthday. When's is your birthday today actually too? Side note about Vanessa's having her birthday party in LA the same night I am. So I can't do it. But oh my god, that's so exciting. I hope you have a lot of fun. I really want to see your Instagram pictures and stuff. Where are you gonna be? I think it's gonna be really fun. But yeah, let's go. I want to go to Giorgio Baldi at some point. You want to go to the original one? Please. Anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. You didn't have to do this, but it's so sweet. Yeah, it's the eyelash extensions really doing me a bunch of good. Thank you so much though. So yeah, they get married, everyone gets married, they like each other, they're getting married. So, and hopefully they're gonna bone. And then we'll talk about them boning at the tell-all, and whether she got birth control. But yeah, the word on the street is that AD still dated Clay. And obviously we have a lot of drama to talk about off the screen, like whether they're going to bring it up, whether Trevor was dating someone before he got on the show, if Jeremy, like what's the timeline of Jeremy having a fiance and selling his house, if that was like all real, like blah, 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 all of that. Okay, so in other news, now 90 Day Fiance, of course, had their tell-all for part 1 last Sunday, and we'll have their part 2 this Sunday. With Igor and Nikki. Nikki shows up in her Giambattista / Valley / H&M dress that Kylie Jenner made famous. I was like, oh, that dress. You said it's like from 2000, like, like it's such an iconic pink dress from like 6 years ago that I was just so surprised to see it because I felt like it was so like, oh yeah, that one, that dress. Just how do I say this? There are certain well, it's fast fashion. Anyone could have had that dress. I know it's horrible. I'm just surprised, Nikki. I guess aesthetically it's on point, but it's just such a fast fashion dress that everyone had. Like I don't think that even though I have Hill House dresses, would I want to wear a Hill House dress on TV? Probably not. You know how all the girls wear the Selkie dresses, Selkie? Like, I don't know. That's just my personal thought. I was just surprised when I saw it. But whatever. She did look good. Um, Everyone hates Justin, which God bless. He really if it's interesting because yeah, like I don't quite know. We know obviously what happened from the breakup of her vantage point, and he sent some text where it feels like he said a lot of things he did not need to say based upon him or being attracted or not attracted to her in various ways. All of this has been very confusing because they were together for a long time, and then like obviously the entire season is whether she was going to be like sexually satisfied with him or whatever, and then it happened, and then it's weird. I guess it's. I mean, it's all to me. It's like it's so funny because it's like, listen. If we think of Chelsea and Jimmy, right? A girl who was like, Jimmy, are you attracted to me? Like, do you find me how you attracted to me? Attracted to me? And it almost feels kind of like a version of what happened again, like Nikki being like, "Ew, are you attracted to me? Are you attracted to me? Attracted to me?" Over and over again. Ultimately, these guys aren't, and ultimately, these girls could feel that and could tell by their actions, which weren't like that kind of whatever vibe that they're used to having. You know who also could feel that? Brittany and Kenneth. She low key was like, I just don't feel that crave, And it's like, yeah, like regardless of your gender, I think that, and I really would love to hear, like, I may I'll talk about this, but I what it feels like to be wanted and desired is a specific feeling, and if you are into it, it's intoxicating, right? Like if like it's great to feel wanted and desired by someone that you also want and desire. And if you want and desire someone who sometimes wants things or sends you mixed messages, that's where it gets confusing. So you're like, oh, okay, weird. I don't feel this thing I usually feel, the thing that is the want and desire, but you tell me you're into it. So I'll just, okay, I'll just give you grace and patience and just think that maybe it feels different with you. This, the underlying energy of being desired and wanted. But, and it's like until ultimate, you're like, it never gets better. Like, I never am going to feel this thing. And I think that it's hard to listen to yourself immediately. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to like date someone and be like, you not like, what's happening? And it feels differently sometimes because sometimes people will give you a lot of want and desire and then just give you mixed messages of like what else they want. And then some people will just feel like they are just trying something. I don't know. It's very interesting. But see, the thing with Nikki and Igor is that she gave him money. And there's the rub because then it kind of messes things up of like what he could be desiring in this relationship. Anyway, so talk about giving money. Side note is because we're in the world, is that Lindsay of Love After Lockup went on live and like talked about her advice if you were going to date someone in the prison system. And it's just a lot of like, if they start asking for money right away, that's all they're going to want to ever. That's what they want. That's what they want is someone on the outside to put money in their books and they'll never stop asking. So don't think it's going to fall in love or whatever. Again, I just have never in my whole life ever been able to be anyone who coerces romantic suitors for money. I just, but it happens all the time, right? Like on all the sexualities and all the genders back and forth. And it's just, it feels like, I'm not saying I want to, it just feels so otherworldly. I almost don't believe it because I've never even sat in the energy of being able to like manipulate someone for money and or someone just give me money in that way. It's just not, I don't know. I just don't live that. Just no one I've ever dated has ever offered me money. Like even in, I'm not saying like a sexual work kind of way, not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying even in any sort of way where someone's been like, "Want me to pay your rent this month?" Like, like, "What? You my rent?" I'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, it'd be like wild to me. But it happens all the time. I just can't even believe it. Like I guess people have babies all the time and make babies with people all the time. And I can't believe that. There's so many like aspects of relationships. I just like, is that real? Or is this, I feel like that's a different, like, it's a parallel world. So going back, Love is Blind, done. 90 Day Fiance, we're in. Nikki and Igor. I just don't really know what to say other than what I've said. Clayton, Annalie. One's Clayton is so gross. One LOL is on the 90 Day Fiance Instagram. They had these like before and afters, like the glow up of the way the cast member came into the studio and thusly what their taping outfits like. And obviously, like for Nikki, it's a big change, and like for Ashley, it's like she came with her makeup on. Now she's wearing like a green glittery dress, and like, oh, it's a big deal. Then Clayton literally is like, Clayton in pajama pants, Clayton just in trousers that still don't look like they fit him that well. He looks the exact same. Sorry if it's noisy. There's just like full on construction happening. So yeah, Sam and Citra are making made a baby, and so that's for them, and hope it works out. Ashley and Manuel have a very interesting segment with Ashley's mom and sisters who basically come on and are just like, we don't trust him. No, we don't trust. As far as we can throw him, we do not trust that Manuel. Not at all. I think there's a lot of shady shit. And then Jasmine's like, you know what, ladies? You should think about where he came from. And then basically says that. And they're like, you know what, Jasmine? Thank you so much for opening her eyes. So sorry, Manuel. Like it was such a switch. I don't know if it was just horribly edited or just like made to be a arc of a story that just like happened so fast. If I was to tell you something, this entire tell-all is phoned in from the moment it starts to the moment it ends. There is nothing happening during this tell-all that's like new or inventive, not anything. I mean, the moment it starts, Sean Robinson walks in with an attitude that's basically like, when the fuck is this over? Sean Robinson walks in when after we're all sitting down, just like, hey guys, it's me, Sean Robinson. Okay, ready? Okay, cool. Let's start this. That's so funny to me because she's on camera. She could have, because this is like not live, filmed a little segment of her going to the green room and being like, hey guys, so nice to see you. It's Sean here. If I haven't met you yet, it's a pleasure. Thank you for being here. I'm going to do my last looks, but let's have a great show, because to me, that's a hosty thing to do. It's so funny to me to be the host of a show and then just walk on and then just like sit down and have it be aired that you've done no other stuff. Like, I'm not saying that Sean should do what's contractually in her contract not to do, but it's LOL the way that it comes off, which is just someone who could care less to be there, can't wait to go home. I mean, it's funny because even in her questions, she won't make connections that are obvious connections for the viewer between people. It's so interesting. Manuel needs to wash his hair. It's so funny because in his glow up, he came like with hair back and then he had his hair like down. I do think they had put product in it because the truth of the matter is they had styled his hair in such a way that if it wasn't washed, they would have washed it. I think it was just like the styling or maybe some extra product. Because, like if you have oily hair like I do, the minute that you put any product in that's too close to the roots that isn't root appropriate, it will just like suck up. It'll be so gross. So dry shampoo is like my best friend in the whole world. So his brother and Citra's brother are married. I mean, God bless. Can you believe it? Just like it's so interesting to me when things like that happen. Like, oh, you just spend the rest of your life with your brothers and sisters, just being brothers and sisters together. Then your first cousins, then your nieces and nephews are first cousins on both sides. Wait, yeah. Side note is because you know this is the way my brain works. Remember that TLC couple that was like the twins that married the twins? I know you know what I'm talking about. Every 5 years, People magazine or one of the things will pick up the twins that married the twins, and they've had a reality show, but it's like not a full reality show. They've had like one-off spin-offs because it's like the twins that married the twins met at a twin convention, then they have kids, and they're just like it's like kind of like a DNA free for all of what's happening there. But every time we've had like mini series about them, it's like great, but it's also like weird, and also not your personalities are cardboard, are non-existent, you know, like so you can't have like more than we really can't like have a whole series because it's like a one-off. Isn't that so funny? Um so I love you, Renee. I'm just being an asshole. It was full of product. I can't believe you said it like that. So gross. I know. God bless. It's interesting what they do to people. Like I didn't understand Ashley's like dress. Like, okay, so Ashley, Jasmine, and they Ashley and Jasmine both looked like they were like in a pageant together, like in the 90s. It's hard because it's when you see okay, it's hard because there's different tell-alls. Like, we all know what a Bravo Housewives tell-all is, which is like sequin gowns and it's very Lebanese, but also they even have their like themes or whatever. But in the 90 Day Fiance world, like anyone can wear whatever they want. Like Citra's dress is very different from Jasmine's dress and very different from Nikki's dress. We talk about Angela and Mike. Yeah. So two things, yeah, the Angela and Mike thing is crazy because it's happening so close to the premiere of HEA. So anytime all this happens, I'm like, oh God, I think I'm being sharped. It's hard because Angela and Michael have been toxic the entire time, and it feels like obviously feels like the deal with the devil of like the bad publicity is any publicity. And so it feels like every time they do horrible things that's like shocking and stuff, and people talk about it, and then this series premieres, it's like Chris Jenner levels of like cha-ching, cha-ching. Um, I mean, the truth of the matter is, even though I've been on the Reddit forum and stuff like that, basically what feels like has happened is that he was in America and she was obviously very angry and like loud and yelling at him. And at one point, she like had his passport in like a locked safe and didn't give him um access to it. And then he ran away. And then but she said that he was missing. And then when the cops found him or we went to the cops, he was like, "Oh, no, like, I'm being abused." Um, which this is, like, where it's also a little weird, it's a lot weird, is that, she's in cahoots with a 90-day scum journalist who, like, gets off and has made a living on the underside of, bargain basement reality TV star drama. So they're doing a live and this guy's like releasing information and like saying, various informational things. And so saying that like basically that, yeah, Michael's going to like claim abuse and then be able to like stay in the States that way. But at the same time, it's like he doesn't have to claim abuse knowing that he stepped foot in American soil and knowing that they had the potential to film at least one night. I can only imagine on camera what they have of Angela verbally abusing a man on American soil, which I think I said, I heard now I'm like, did I say this on the YouTube or did I say this in a podcast? I think I said this on YouTube, which is that again, it also goes to show you, it's so long, goes to show you how much Angela has no one in her life that really ever cares for her, nor should she, nor does she have the wherewithal to make one smart choice, because there's not a world in which someone in her life wouldn't be able to look in the future and be like, you're going to have a situation where this man is here and you have to pay for him, and he is going to be able to say that you have abused him, and there's going to be video evidence of it because you are what? A loud, crazy, abuser. And so you will do it and they will have evidence of it. And so you should watch your back or not do it or whatever it is. But none of that happens, right? So I can only imagine what the season's going to hold and like what it is. But, it's weird because he hasn't said anything on Instagram except to tell people that any Instagrams of him are not him. Sadly, I think Michael would not be comfortable living with Angela. She's worse. Oh, for sure. Angela has lock in a garden shed for life energy. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not saying that I condone Angela. She's abusive. Oh, yeah, I know. Was it weird that guy act like our spokesman? Her, yeah, it's like that person is, yeah, like a creepy crawly parasite. Scares the hell out of me. It sounds like she never put in the paperwork for the visa. Yes, I heard that too, that she was like, I never put the paperwork in the visa. So I don't know if that's her way of being like, so I brought him over here and then, well, okay, so never put the paperwork in the visa. That's what Muhammad had like said that Eve hadn't done or something, because it's like, why that's relevant. Why, if they got married but she hadn't put the paperwork in the visa for the visa, is that something she could hold over her head? Or, you know what I'm saying? Well, they got married. I forgot they got married. Is that of her way of saying that he can't claim abuse to stay here because, I don't know. Well, he has a visa, or he couldn't have gone through customs. She didn't submit the paperwork for a green card. Yeah. I'm just saying we all know she comes from a life of toxicity, so that she's abuser in my kingdom, of course. Yes. Hi, Shay. I know. He was in a John Waits live that day. I didn't realize how problematic he was. I knew other YouTubers like him. I thought it was pretty petty stuff. I didn't realize that it was serious. I mean, it's funny because it's like, I don't really know. I mean, I don't know how serious it is. I don't know I mean, I know that he's seriously cringy and like, I don't know. I think that you can't involve yourself in such, and I mean, he would just, early on, like years ago, he would just involve himself in such a way that you knew that he was like getting off on enmeshing himself with 90 Day people. And so even the cast members that I would see take pictures with him, I would start to be like, oh no, that means you're one of them. Tiffany would take pictures with him. Like any cast member that takes pictures with him, I'm like, mm-mm. No, not for me. Not for me, honey. Doesn't make sense. Isn't good. Um. Anyway, so all of that happens, and we're gonna get part 2 of the 90 Day Fiance season 10 tell all. Let's go on to Single Life. Single Life is happening. It's so interesting because boy does Johnny and the sound is so much. Does Johnny and Megan seem like they're on a road to nowhere. Or it seems like they shouldn't be together, but for some reason they are. It seems like they have seems like she's on some sort of timeline in her mind for reasons unbeknownst to me or the producers, and that he has just decided that she is a great option to make him look like a full functioning adult. And he has decided now that like both of his brothers that are in relationships that are having kids and he just keeps sleeping on their couches that he should probably be in a relationship because I think that not being in one is making him feel less than. And here comes Megan, who he finds hot and who keeps fucking him in hotels. And she has a daughter. And so maybe I think maybe he was hoping that she wouldn't want another kid, like she already had one or whatever. But that's the conversation they had to the delight of Patrick and Thais in real time. But it's not single life. It's like, yeah, it's just, I don't see the chemistry with John and Megan. Their vibe very much feels like the lights coming on after last call at a bar. I mean, that's the vibe they have all the time. Lights just came on. Don't care where you go, but you gotta leave. And they're both like, you, okay. Like that's, it's so depressing. They have a depressive vibe for sure. That's the truth. So Debbie and Ruben, I don't believe that I believe I don't believe that Debbie's into Ruben. I also kind of think that like there's a version of Debbie that like seems very fantastical, idealistic, and romantic in her ideas of love. And I get it because generational, it's a thing, but it feels like the ideas that you have of love when you're 20. And Debbie can sometimes feel a little delulu that she still sits in them a little bit. Because we also know such beautiful things about Debbie that she's walked on God's green earth for years and have been through relationships begging a seasoned lady to know that sometimes it doesn't like that and sometimes you got to be a little more realistic. I don't feel like Debbie finds Ruben attractive. And I don't feel like Ruben has anything to give to Debbie. Ruben, and he seems nice enough, I don't even really see as an artist more so than just wears colorful, very colorful clothes and the same hat and weird sunglasses, lives with his parents. And he takes care of his parents, which is great. But why but what is Debbie getting from this? Because I don't think that she finds him attractive. Delulu Deb. By the way, Debbie, like Colty and Debbie just posted on Instagram that she's like in desperate need of a place to stay because she's on the Canadian border and has to wait 4 to 5 more days and like doesn't have a hotel. Oh Lord. Okay. Chantel has wasted her whole Greek vacation chasing after some dumb boy and wanting so badly for us to think that she looks fabulous at all times in her outfits and dresses, which she does, but she could have done better in her makeup, which is so funny because she traveled with a glam team, God. It's so funny because it's like, with all the words I said, you'd think it would be such a fabulous, fun vacation, but it's so depressing and annoying all the time. It's like it's not sexy. Those friends are not fun. We don't get to see any part of their life. None of their lives matter. They're not doing anything fun in Greece. Like they did that one olive oil thing, and they all just seemed like it was not for them. Like yeah, you guys just like are you seeing sights? Maybe like I would get if you can't like film them, but you can't even talk about the fact that you guys are seeing any sights. I don't know. But I do want to travel. Ugh, God bless. I want to go somewhere. I want to go to Italy so bad, or Greece, or France. Just take me away, Calgon. Um, Maybe Debbie just wants someone to adore her after chasing after Osama. I'm so surprised she went along with that. Yeah. Also, the big, thing that was dropped on us is that she's still giving money to Osama's family. And I wonder if it's a situation where she's like, I still give them just $40 a month because they could really use it, which maybe that is. Um, Tyree we didn't have, and obviously Natalie we did have. The big news with Natalie is whether her mom is going to get what Natalie's mom wants, which is for her to get back with Mike. But as we know, and I mean, and unless you don't know, I will tell you, Mike's been with a girl, like a very cute lady. She has brown hair and she seems younger, which I'm sure Natalie loves. And he's been with her what seems like a hot ass minute. He doesn't post that much to his Instagram, but like he seems to have been with this lady for the past like 8 months, maybe. Um, which I wish we could talk about. Like, the parts of Natalie we love is like her kind of like an egotistical, narcissistic place. So I want, and this is like toxic for me. I want to see Natalie react to Mike's girlfriend. Like I would like to see Natalie see her. I want to see a picture. I want to see Natalie be like, "Oh, Mike's girlfriend," even though he's my husband that I should be having babies with. Like I want them all to like. Could you imagine a world in which Natalie got to go to like a lunch with Mike and Mike's girlfriend? Also, do you want to see a scene between Trish, Mike's mom, and Natalie's mom? I think you do. Just got back from Mexico cruise in February. 80 in Cabo. My God. Ugh. Oh, God. I just like, in an idealistic way, for all the things we talked about, it would just be so nice to be dating someone in this moment who's like, hey, babe, guess what I got you for your birthday? Pack your bags, bitch. He won't call me a bitch. Pack your bags. You know? Girl, no. But anyway, my friend just texted me. Uh so anyway, God bless. Yeah, it just would be so nice to go somewhere, and obviously be so nice to go with someone. And I feel like it would just be so nice to have like a romantic vacation somewhere with someone who just wants to spend so much money on me, as well as just like have sex with me. Also, maybe love me a little bit. What a great thing. But you know what? There's always next year, and I am going to go on vacation. So I will find it all, but in the 90-day world, with Natalie and Mike, I don't know what's gonna happen. I obviously love it. Like, he definitely had to have a very long hug. She definitely bought some wildflowers, like, I wonder if he's here to really be able to be like, "Natalie, I'm not gonna ever be with you. And now I get to tell you why, because you're crazy in front of you, in front of America, because this is on Single Life and your beautiful mother." So she knows the reason why that you've gone through 3 husbands and are not ever gonna have a child is because you are so banana ramos crazy that it's really your fault. So Cinderella, maybe, but more like Maleficent. I'm not quite sure. So yeah, at one point Natalie's mom is like, "You are my Cinderella," to Natalie. And when she says that to Natalie, and it's like from a place of just having so much pity and thinking this her daughter is just like such a victim of victims, we all were like, "Oh my what? Ah, what?" Un- Unbelievably like, no, ma. We wouldn't call her Cinderella. Like, in what world is like Natalie been like cleaning the floors, honey? Like Natalie wouldn't even bring a resume to a job interview. Like, this isn't someone who's like been made to like clean. I mean, it's so funny because also the cleaning aspect makes her feel like she's also directly talking a little bit about the Mike situation. Oh God. Did everyone see pics of Muhammad's new baby from Muhammad and Danielle? So cute. No, no, I did not. Oh wow, that's crazy. No. But can we talk about okay, can we this is so sad, but can we talk about another adjacent reality show that experienced like an unbelievable surprise, devastating tragedy, which now that I've framed it this way, maybe you know what I'm going to talk about, which is even though I don't talk about it on the show, I've watched Sister Wives like on and off for like the past like 45 years. You know, it's fine. And basically nothing happened except for like three things up until this year when the facade of Cody's ego came down, and then we were really, shown bare like how he neglected every part of every one of his family members' lives except for him. And by default, a little bit of Robin's because all he cared about was him in relationship to Robin. So all of the COVID things happen, and obviously Christine leaves him, and obviously Mary leaves him, and obviously Janelle leaves him. And then, I mean, on Tuesday, we find that Janelle and Cody's son, Garrison, passed away. And then I am getting texts while I'm at Disneyland, and then to find out that it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And because it's a reality show, and because we know what that's like, and it's a family reality show, again, that's been on years, we have like infinite clips of conversations and things that have happened. And obviously, we have watched the downfall of this family in such a bananas way that it's like, I mean, yeah, it's heartbreaking and devastating. I cannot believe it. I mean, Janelle had like made passing remarks hinting at Garrison not being able to like cope or handle this either dissolution of their family and his own relationship with his dad, which was like due to COVID. His dad's okay, so it's like his dad having all these kids and wanting, I guess, whatever. He like made hard and fast COVID rules and was very, very strict with them. And then when adults and grown people that are certain ages, because whatever, made choices, he was really unrelenting in how he reacted to those choices and the behaviors around them, which created a divide. And instead of moving past that divide, he sort of stood on a high horse and was like, for us to move past it, you have to apologize to me and Robin. And they internalized that as being like, no, you literally left our mom for this woman and our other mom that we care about, the moms that raised us, because you are such a fucking asshole. So we're not going to like cower to you now and say, sorry for this COVID thing, but what probably feels like the unspoken bowing to you as if we are the reason for your family's disarray when it's Cody, who should be on bended knee saying so sorry to all of his children and Christine, Mary, and Janelle for how he's treated their own personal relationships and the dignity of the history they've all shared with each other, right? I personally don't care so much about the intrinsic and deep Robin hate. Like, I don't hate Robin. I think that she's cringy. But I think they're all a little cringy. And I think that it's funny to talk about her eyebrows, but it was very funny to talk about everyone's eyebrows. And Mary had crazy eyebrows for a long ass fucking time, too. And Christine, for the truth of the fact that I do love Christine, especially in like the hero aspect that she does, is no saint. Christine right now is like an MLM sponsored product pusher of bullshit powders, that like will do nothing for you, but is part of this Bananarama's, like way for, I think, specifically Utah and Midwestern and Mormon housewives and what other women to like make money with these MLM things. And I feel almost like ignorant, or sorry, I almost feel like discriminatory saying it that way because I know it sounds like I think it's flippant. I do. I just think that it's like manipulative and like I think I don't know. I just am not into it. Anyway, it's all over the Midwest and the South. Okay. And it's not just Mormons and it's all of the MLMs. It's like this plexus, where the fuck these women are pushing. It's all of it. So LOL. And like, Janelle of all people is like pushing it too. As if, I'm happy that people are happy. But like at the same time, let's take a long look at ourselves. And before we like think that we can go on a platform and like give advice through health shit, what actually is happening. It's very problematic and it's not responsible. And I think it's very lazy. I think it's lazy. Because to me, it's like, why push these products? You could do anything. I mean, I have a podcast. You could do a podcast. I don't even know. You could do a podcast on Mormons. That's just one. You could do a podcast. You could do anything. You could do just make something that's actually useful for society, and don't just like make people drink powders of whatever and tell them how you've lost all your bloat weight or whatever. It's just so scammy. I just read this. Utah, number one state for the depressants because the women try to be perfect. Number one state for MLMs because they're always trying to hustle her side money. I got really into looking at these like snark forums on Reddit, which is not the greatest because I think it is promoting toxic negativity in my life. It's true, but I don't look at all the snark forums. I just this one where it's about Utah influencers. It just says if you want to Utah influencers snark, because I'm not in the world of like this kind of stuff, and so to be able to like read about it is fascinating. Okay, I'm gonna believe soon. I forgot I have a movie I'm gonna go see it for. Or these people. So basically, Garrison passed away, as I said, and it's devastating. And like in real time, I had like looked on like Cody's page because he and Janelle had to release a statement. And I mean, on Cody's Instagram, it was like every 2 seconds was an incoming comment about what a POS he is and how much he deserves, like what happened. And that is horrifying to think that people feel okay reaching out and on someone's page typing and sending something like that. It was happening so much. It's just such a unbelievable void in human decency. And so many people felt okay doing it. And I don't know why, to me, it's like black and white that you could like have an opinion about something. And definitely these people's lives were on TV. And having seen what happened, I definitely just already shared with you my opinion about it. I just, in my entire life, would never say that to someone. And even if this is on my YouTube, if I was like, you guys, if for some reason Cody Brown walked in and this very moment, I would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just like couldn't even think about it. Like, but it's such a crazy world we live in. But mostly, obviously, I feel bad for his mom, like Janelle. Oh my God, I can't even fucking believe it, Janelle. And definitely by extension, Christine, because I know how much she raised them. And all of the kids, like all of the kids, especially the older ones, all of the kids. But the older ones were like a version that we knew, like I still kind of like Logan and McKelty, and then God, Liam. God damn it. Renee, what is Liam's name? I think, Renee, you're always the one that will tell me what Mary's child's name is again. I don't know. Okay, my love. So yeah, I feel bad for the siblings, especially the older siblings and stuff like that. And I from this point, it's like if they move on with the show, like, are they gonna? I mean, how are you gonna fucking talk about this? I can't imagine. I cannot imagine Cody sitting down and being able to talk about this. But even if he did, half of me is so afraid of what he would say because I feel like from what I've seen of this person, there is no way he would be able Leon. Thank you, Leon. I don't know why I'm always like Liam. It's Leon. Like I'm afraid. I like. What does Leon think of this? What does McKelty? What does like? What does Logan think of this? Yeah, I always know her dead name because I know Leon's dead name because when Leon was on the show was the only time that we got to really like know Leon. So unfortunately, I'll always know I like can visualize Leon and have to be like, that's why I can't remember Leon's name. Um yeah. Anyway, okay, my loves. I do have to go because I'm like in the middle of my birthday day. I love you guys so much, and I'm so thankful that you guys are here to spend a little time with me. Sorry that I did it on a different time, but I went to Disneyland on Tuesday. Thank you so much for Vanessa for this beautiful birthday little super chat, and obviously I love you, Vanessa. I hope that you have a great weekend yourself. Okay, babe. Um, let's do our thing. We'll meet next week. I love you guys so much. We're gonna do our thing, being our breath, and then go about our lives. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your beautiful spirits in your commentary. Okay. Well, let's breathe. Getting it all out. Bringing it all in. And breathing it out. And bringing it in. All right, my loves. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to me, but really happy birthday to you. Just kidding. Thanks for your presence here. Your presence is a present. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. Okay, babes? All right. Thank you. Thank you. And don't worry, the Britney video is coming still. I know. Thank you. I love you guys. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.